Hello, welcome to a brand new edition of the Chamber Report. I'm Josh Wooten, President and CEO of the Citrus County Chamber of Commerce, and your host today. I have a very special guest, very active chamber member today, Arbuth Bumgarner. Did I get the last name right, Arbuth?
Yeah, very good, Josh.
Awesome.
Very good.
He is the CEO of Hernando Moss, a local firm here that's very interesting. I wanted to have him on. Arbuth is also the title sponsor for this year's expo to be held on September the 19th at the auditorium. But we'll get into that. I just think you've chosen such an interesting career path. Tell us a little about yourself and how Hernando Moss came to be.
Sure, I'd love to. Hernando Moss was started about 13 years ago. I love to create things, and one of the best ways to be able to do that, Josh, was really to travel to China and start my own company. I flew over there about 13 years ago, didn't know a soul, decided to set up a business, and I did it. And immediately, I set up an office over there. I have several employees right now. I have an apartment. I have an office. So we're a legitimate company in China. We have a great amount of talent over there with our employees, and I think we do a great job for our customers.
And you're of course here, Citrus County. This is your homestead.
Yep.
So what does Hernando Moss mean? What is the product?
Sure. We're a design, development, and procurement company. What we really do is we take either my ideas that I already generate, or customers come to me and ask me, I'd like to create something. And here in Citrus County, I know there's a lot of potential that people have ideas, but they're just not really sure how to get them developed. What I do is I take their idea, go to China, and talk to my employees about it, and we source factories to be able to make that product for our customers. I think it's very important to note that we have boots on the ground, if I could say that. And I think that's really important. A lot of people, they go online, they say, oh, I can buy this from overseas or whatever, but they have no control over what's happening on a day-to-day basis. And that's what I offer. I personally go to every factory that we do business with, and I literally inspect the factories. Until you go to a factory, you don't know they're a factory. It's not a brick and mortar, okay? And there's a lot of things that you just need to see, and that's part of what I do.
And I can see the need. It's very ingenious to come up with this business plan because you really don't know. You need the boots on the ground, and you need somebody that knows all the players to make sure that everything is on the up and up and done in the most efficient and cost-effective manner.
Very true. People don't realize the cost. By the time you buy your airline tickets to and from, you're taking money away, you're taking time away from your business to be able to run, your business here in Citrus or anywhere in the United States, or we serve customers in Europe as well. But that takes time, that takes money. I've already got those things set up. I travel as far north as 60 miles to the Russian border. Is to California, for an example. Okay, we travel all around China to be able to source the right product for the right customer.
That's very good, very good.
Yeah, thank you.
Now you're also an inventor.
Yes.
In addition to being an entrepreneur.
Yes,
what type of things have you invented? What interests you?
Sure. Our focus is a lot of horticultural products, but honestly, we've done a lot of things for a lot of different people. I've generated a patent for a product called Picks and Posies, for an example. And Picks and Posies is a cute little container that actually has 4 different slots that you can put a picture in it of your child, of your family, your boyfriend, girlfriend, mother, and then you actually make an arrangement of flowers in it. That's been a huge success several years ago, and that was a great item. People love that idea of giving gifts, but it's a personal touch along with a picture.
Mm-hmm. Very good. And what do you have currently that you're working on? Any current product?
Yes, I'm very excited to talk about an item called the Purr Bath. There's over 60 million households in America that actually have a cat.
And I'm one of them.
And you will love my product. It's a patent pending item. I just received a letter the other day from the government stating that it's an approved patent pending. And this Purr Box will be released at the upcoming Business Expo. It will be the first time it will be shown in the United States.
Wow, right in downtown Inverness, Florida.
Downtown Inverness, Florida. Yes, sir. Yes,
Well,
sir.
that's excellent. I appreciate you doing that.
Oh, I thought it would be a great opportunity to expose the item to the local community and to get their feedback, which is very important. And I think it's going to be very exciting.
Well, you heard it here first. Arbuth's next invention, the Purr Bath, will be debuted at the auditorium on the 19th of September. That's awesome. Looking forward to that.
Thank you very much.
And we may have pet adoptions there too, so they can. Will you have any for sale yet? Or?
Oh, we'll be able to book orders. Yes, sir. We will. Yes.
Hey, we might have something going here.
Yeah. Very good. Very good.
Well, we appreciate your support on that. I wanted to go back to China just a little bit. You know, we're hearing about the stock market. Our stock market's kind of on a little bit of a roller coaster here, correction, whatever. Some people attribute that to happenings in China. I've seen other analysis that we're not that all that reliant, and it doesn't sound like what you do is all that reliant on what's happening. But just kind of, I think this is as a sidebar, something our viewers would like to hear.
That's a good point. Is we really only generate approximately 2% of our GNP overseas to the China market, so it's only just a very small bit. I just read an article this morning from the Australian finance minister from the Wall Street Journal, and it was talking about this minister from Australia, he thinks that they were overblowing, okay, the Western world were overblowing this situation in China. Yes, China now is about 15% of the world GNP, so obviously they've got a lot of
big players.
Big player, okay. But overall, most of their consumption happens within China. And most of the goods, again, throughout the world that we really export to China, it's a lot, but it's really only part of a small amount of the GNP of for an example, Germany or France, for an example. So it's not a lot overall when you take the world perspective.
And that's kind of what I had heard, and I'm an avid reader too, and a news watcher, and that the sky is falling is probably a little bit of an overblown statement, or a lot of an overblown statement.
The reality is that China really does have some financial problems, and their government, okay, they don't want these problems to be released. They really want to control these concerns that they have. They say that their GNP is, their growth rate is about 7% a year. For the last several years, again, having my office there, living there in China, talking to many of the factories, is that easily we're projected to be, they're projected really probably around 3 to 4%. So that 7% is a number that they put out there, but truly it's probably more like the 3 or 4%.
Very good. Well, I want to talk more about that and more about your business when we come back after this short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Chamber Report. I'm Josh Wooten. We're here with Arbuth from Hernando Moss and talking about a lot of exciting stuff that he's got going on. We were just talking about the economy in China. We could probably do a whole show on those types of things, and you know what? We can, because it's our show, so we can have you back anytime.
Would love to be back.
But I want to touch on some more local flavor. You've been to the schools. You've gone out to the schools and talked about various things.
Yes, Thomas Kennedy was very nice to me, and he took me to Citrus High School as well as Lecanto. And we had a wonderful time, learned a lot from the youth there. The youth in Citrus County has a tremendous potential. I love to see their excitement and their youth to be able to create so many things that they're doing. I think that the youth in Citrus County, you know, you read it in the newspaper how well our education system is here in Citrus County. I think that one of the things, for an example, as an entrepreneur myself, I think it would be kind of fun to look at doing a shark tank, if I could say that, with the youth here. Have them come in and they present ideas to us, okay, to a group of people, and see if these ideas actually could come into fruition. From a manufacturing standpoint, from a sourcing standpoint, I would be able to pretty well click on their ideas, if it's going to work, if it's not going to work, things like that. I think that would be a wonderful way to stimulate the youth in Citrus County to get their creative juices moving.
That would be awesome, and we could award it award it in some way instead of giving them Mr. Wonderful giving them a check for $1 million. We can give them some kind of an award or money towards a scholarship or something like that. Count the chamber in, my friend. We'll love to work with you on
That's a great idea. All right, let's talk about that later. Okay, wonderful.
And also, I wanted to get out to convey to you, because you will do business locally and help people locally. I wanted to give you a scenario. I'm making widgets in a warehouse in Hernando, and you know, my cost of goods is too much. I can't really get good distribution, and I'm smart and I know how to make something,
Sure.
and I know how to design it, but I just don't know how to develop a business plan and outsource and all that. Would I call a guy like you?
I would hope so. Yes, I would love to be able to do that. I think there's a lot of people in Citrus County that actually have ideas that they're just really not sure how to begin, as you said. Pick up the phone, call me. My number is 1-800-860-2728. That's 800-860-2728. And let's talk. Would sit down, discuss your widget, okay, and see how it's being made currently, how we can improve on it. I would take that idea or the widget itself, go back to China or Vietnam. I'm doing business in Vietnam as well as India. I just want to make sure that there's other countries available just besides China, and that we would take that idea or the widget and actually study it, look it over with my office staff in China, go out to various factories. That's one of the things, again, that with the boots on the ground, as we mentioned earlier, is that I would literally go to X number of factories, not just rely on one or two, but I actually go out there, research the factories to make sure we're not only getting the best price, because that's important, but we also need to make sure, you need to make sure, as an owner of your widget company, that you can actually deliver the goods. Okay, and the goods are reliable and quality besides the price. Price isn't everything in today's market. People are willing to spend a little bit more because they want a product that will last.
And that makes sense. And there's something else that maybe you can help me with, because I watched the Shark Tank. You mentioned the Shark Tank. And going offshore, it seems to me, if you're not well versed in it, first of all, how do you protect your idea? And how do you make sure you're getting the quality ingredients, so to speak, into that product, because your name's on it when it hits shelves, comes back and hits the shelves. So wouldn't it behoove to have a professional that knows all the documentation on? In other words, if I just showed up landed at the airport and went and said, see my widget, anybody could take that widget and knock it off, couldn't they?
Absolutely. And one of the things that we do offer at Hernando Moss is I actually have a lawyer team, a Chinese lawyer firm that actually works with Hernando Moss.
They have lawyers over there too.
Absolutely. Okay.
They're everywhere.
And yes, they are. Yes, they are. And so with my contacts of the lawyers in China, one of the advantages is that we would take this widget, okay, if it's possible, to be able to patent it over in China. This is where many goods in the world are made. So if we lock the patent in China, for an example, then literally no other Chinese factories should be able to copy that. Again, that's why I'm there in China. That's why we have an office there. But that's one of your surest first ways of protection of that item. Because in the United States, you can go and file a patent, but it costs a lot of money. Okay, in China, it's not that expensive in comparison to US dollars for a lawyer. So we would protect your idea in China. That's very important. That's one of the first things we would do.
And that's regardless if you have a patent pending here, you just do it there too.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
You would protect the entrepreneur in a big way by knowing the ropes.
Absolutely. That's one of the things you quickly hear about it, because it's just like the car market in the USA. If somebody knocks something off, you quickly hear about it through the grapevine, through the other factories that you're working with. Absolutely.
Very good. Well, I'm very interested in that Shark Tank. I don't think we'll be able to call it Shark Tank. And manatees aren't mean enough, so we couldn't call it manatee. But we'll come up with a good name, but I'm interested in doing that on
the piranhas.
So about how much time do you spend over there versus here?
I spend about 6 months a year in China. I just got back a few weeks ago, and so quite a bit of time. And I think, and that's, again, when you talked about how can we ensure, how can you ensure with your widget factory that we're protecting your quality of goods? Again, that's why I'm there a lot of the times. I go in, every time we go to the factories, at least on 3 occasions, once the sample is approved, we go to the factory on 3 different occasions to inspect the goods. 1, 2, 3. Every few months or every few weeks we go. We're also there, either myself or one of my employees. We're there to actually watch the loading take place, and one of our employees actually put the packing list on the back of that container. So we really do, we are a hands-on operation.
Very good. Well, man, this has been a real joy to have you on, and there's so much we could talk about, but I really want to thank you in public for being our title sponsor to put this expo on. It enables us to let a lot of entrepreneurs and businesses, local businesses, do their wares. You're essentially covering the cost of the venue. So we really appreciate that.
It's my pleasure, Josh. And again, as an adult, a business person, or a youth, come to my booth, okay, at the Business Expo on September 19th, okay, and discuss your ideas with me. Look forward to you.
And Arbuth's contact information has been coming up over the course of this show, or call the chamber. There is our website. His information's on there. Thank you so much, Arbuth.
My pleasure.
Can't wait for the expo.
We'll see you soon.
And stay tuned for our event spotlight segment coming up next.